Spirituality was never about belief. It was about knowledge. And it was a very powerful thing, because knowledge is the most powerful thing that a human being can have. It is the ultimate empowerment. And just like any power, there is forces that want to control that power and have it for themselves. So that power was taken and replaced with belief. It's a good thing that spiritual sciences still exist today, otherwise we would not be able to demonstrate this or to verify this. Even after all the efforts of eradicating spiritual knowledge, science in its holistic sense, not just in its physical and chemical sense, and this is causing a lot of misunderstandings in people about what is God, what is a prophet, what is not a prophet, all these things. And in terms of Africa is probably the source of most of this knowledge, if not all of this knowledge, and still preserves it even today. Not as it should. It is not practiced as much as it should, or known as much as it should, but it still lives on. It has survived all these ages, and all the turmoil, and all the slavery, and all the colonialism. It is incredible to see. For instance, in Arabia, none of this exists anymore, because even in Arabia, or the Middle East as we call it, or West Asia, spiritual sciences have always existed. The science of lingams, the science of how to create a deity from a stone, the science to how to enlighten oneself and become godlike. All these things existed. You know, the science of the chakras and the energies in the body. All of these things existed, but now the science has been removed, but the techniques, some of them remain and are considered just ritual, just prayer, just obedience to what God dictates to us. And how do we know what God dictates to us? Through this book that they gave you. You know what I mean? So it became something which is not based in consciousness as it should be. It's not based on not in knowledge, but it's based in belief, because no one knows who wrote this book, if it really came from God or this guy or that guy or no guy or whatever. But everyone just believes, oh, it came from God, and that's what we believe, you know. And once you try to know the truth, people fight you. But knowledge is your birthright. Knowledge is your right on this planet. In this life, every human being is worthy of knowing what the truth is, and it's not a matter of belief. For instance, this thing that we call bowing down, which some people of certain faiths like Islam are very allergic to do in front of something other than the Kaaba. They consider it being shirk. They consider it being putting partners with God. But what bowing down actually is actually giving your upper chakras to that which is divine, or which holds some divine quality. This is why bowing down has always been a sign of respect. But what one is trying to do when bowing, whether consciously or unconsciously, is receiving higher energy from that which is in front of you, to receive it from here, because you always want to receive a high energy from this part of the body. You never want to receive it from the lower chakras that can really destabilize your chakras. So We always try to get it from here. It is never good to open your legs to food like this, because even food has high levels of energy, because it's life-giving. It gives life. If you eat it, it nourishes you. It has a high level of energy. Anything with a high level of energy, you should not open your legs to it or put your feet to it, but you should give yourself to it from this side. So that's one example. But people don't know these things. People think bowing down is just what you do when you worship. They don't know the details. They don't know the mechanisms of why and how and what happens and how it works.